Veterans, did you know the VA has made some updates as it pertains to the M21-1 manual reference for the PACT Act? In today's video, I'm going to share some of those updates with you, so you definitely don't want to miss this video. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dewayne. I got a video for that Kimble, United States Army veteran, retired VA rating specialist, and you know it, your VA claim nugget man. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. Also, huge update. Myself and a fellow veteran has created a VA claim university. In my new book, The VA Compensation Blueprint, It's Time to Win is the syllabus. This is going to be a 5-month program, and you can follow along as you file your claim, because I'm filing a John Doe claim. So each class, we're going to be going over each chapter. The link is in the description section. But before we get into today's video, a word from one of our sponsors. Veterans, if you're filing a VA disability claim for a mental health condition, you know the process can be frustrating and overwhelming. Having the right evidence can make all the difference. That's where Tampa Counseling and Wellness comes in. They specialize in providing mental health DBQs and Nexus Statements, helping veterans establish direct service connection for mental health conditions or secondary service connection due to issues like tinnitus, migraines, or back problems. The team at Tampa Counseling and Wellness is passionate about supporting those who serve. They understand the VA process and are committed to helping you get the benefits you've earned. If you need expert support for your mental health claim, don't go at it alone. Contact Tampa Counseling and Wellness today. All right, everyone. So the VA has made some changes to its M21-1 manual reference for the PACT Act. I get alerts, email alerts, when they make these updates. And a few months ago, people said, Dewayne, continue to bring us those updates. And that's exactly what I'm doing. But as I was doing the research, I saw that they were dropping a lot of nuggets that really it pertained to the PACT Act. But people were asking me questions about, hey, I was stationed here, I was stationed there. Is there any information about these locations? Guess what? The answer is yes. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right into it. I'm super excited to share this with you. Okay. So right here, this is the email that I received. I received it on December 5th, 2025. Okay. You can also get these updates. You have to go out to the VA's website and subscribe. A lot of my veterans, monthly members that are in my monthly veteran membership, they already are subscribed and they get these updates. And guess what, people? They know how to research the M21-1 and go through what I'm going to share with you today. Okay. So what we're looking at is the second citation. Okay, then to the right, you'll see updated guidance based on the PACT Act. Now, there's two. Okay, the first one, as you can see there, is 9A, and the third citation is 9B. I have both of these links in the description section because I'm only going to cover section A. All right, and guess what? Look down at the fourth citation change, updated to clarify what conditions warrant examination. There's two updates. Leave a comment in the comment section and let me know if you want me to do a video on that, okay? And this is how you win, people. I know some of these videos are boring, but this is how you win, because when these little small changes, okay, they could have a huge impact on your claim. And especially if you were thinking about claiming something, he was like, hey, I don't think I can get it because I don't see anything. Now they're giving it to you. Okay. So again, the VA is giving us the answers to the test. All right. So once we click on the second citation, 9A, all right, you're going to come to, you're going to come to the screen, but this is not what you're going to see. So you're going to have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, okay, of that screen. So once you click on that citation, I have it in the description section, 9A, make sure you scroll all the way down to the bottom. And this is what you're looking for. See where it says 12/4/25 key changes. And you see that right there, 9, then it says underscore section 8 doc. This is a Word document. You want to click on that, okay? You want to click on that. And when you click on it, this is what you're going to see. All right. We're about to get into the nitty gritty. So you see the citation in the top right hand corner, along with the date, December 4th, 2025. On the left hand side, key changes. Okay. So as you go down, it says the table below describes the changes included in this revision of the Veterans Benefit Manual M21-1. Okay. Minor editorial changes have also been made to, and it gives you the reason why. Reasons for notable change, okay? And you can read this. I read it just because I want to know. But when you go from change to change, it's going to be a little bit different. But look at this second bullet comment right there, right here. To add toxic exposure risk activity, terror, to the theories of service connection that must be considered, okay? That right there, okay? Now, that jumped out because I'm like, wait a minute, terror. I did a previous video about terror, okay? So let's keep going. Reasons for the change, okay? The authority, the undersecretary of benefits, okay? Basic information. Now, okay, section A. You're not going to see the letter A is not going to be in red. It's not going to be capitalized. I just did that because I wanted to bring special attention to it. Okay. So section A, general information on exposure to specific environmental or military occupational hazards. Where they're talking about military occupational hazards, your job, the job that you did. See, when I first clicked on this link, what did it talk about? Terror. So I always tell veterans, what was your job? What toxins, what chemicals were you exposed to? Do you have a current diagnosis? Have you consulted with a medical professional to say, hey, doc, I was exposed to these different toxins during while serving at this as a heavy vehicle mechanic or something like that, right? And the doctor says, yes, that particular chemical causes this type of reaction, skin reaction, whatever. Okay. All right. So as you can see, we have a yellow background, and then we have words in blue with a blue line. What that represents, the yellow background, whenever you see that in behind words or a sentence, that's the addition. That means this is what they added. When you see words in blue with a line through it, that's what they removed. Okay. Again, yellow background, they added. Blue line, they removed. Okay. General information on exposure to specific environmental or military occupational hazards. Now they just added EMOH. All right. Also, the topic contains general information on exposure to Pacific EMOH, including, all right, so now you see the difference. They added this bullet comment here. The first one that with the yellow background, action to take when the veteran claims the environmental, military, occupational hazard exposure, but does not claim a disability. You have to provide a diagnosis, people. Okay, do not file a claim for terror or Gulf War undiagnosed illness, or I'm just claiming the PACT Act. You have to have a diagnosis, all right? Then the last bullet comment here, exposure to EMOHs and toxic exposure risk activity, terror. Now they're giving you some nuggets here, okay? They're letting you know where they're going with this, and this is an addition, okay? So now, change date, June 8th, 2022, December 4th, 2025. December 4th, 2025 is the new update, okay? Let's keep going. So it talks about here, veterans may have been exposed to a variety of environmental and military occupational hazards during their military service. Exposure events can be consistent with places, types, and circumstances of the veteran's service, either based on, and it gives you a couple of bullet comments here. And also from time to time, it'll give you other M21-1 manual references. And I sometimes do look at those because it could lead you to some other evidence that you can use. Okay. So now it says important. You always want to read when they say this is important. So we're going to go look at the additions to include the following toxic exposure risk activity, terror. Okay. Multiple theories of SE, SE stands for service connection, may apply to claims, especially for disabilities incurred by veterans who served during the Persian Gulf War era. Okay, that's under the PACT Act. When a veteran served in a location or locations associated with multiple toxic exposures during the Persian Gulf era, follow the guidance in this particular M21-1. Now, this is how you win your high level review, because you go to this M21-1, you read it, and you be like, wait a minute. They didn't do this. When you go to that high level review, informal conference, you point out fact. This M21-1 was not followed. Okay. Okay. Again, people, this is how you win. Understand these topics can be a little bit boring. All right. But trust me, they're very informative. Here they talk about processing terror claims under the PACT Act. Okay. Now, this one, locations of Pacific environmental hazards identified by DOD. This is critical because a lot of people ask me from time to time, Dewayne, hey, what about this location? What about that location? Okay. This is how you find these locations. Now, look at these three locations. They were already there. Okay. They didn't add them, they were already there. But what I want to point out, balloons from a waste incinerator near the Naval Air Facility, NAF, in Japan. Okay. So if you were stationed somewhere, here's a nugget, people. Come to the M21-1, do a keyword search and see if it comes up. All right. So if you were in the Navy or maybe Marines and you were stationed at this town in Japan, they're telling you, there were some toxins there. And if you have a diagnosis as it pertains to one of those toxins, this is how you prove that you were there. This M21-1, because DOD identified it. Okay. Now here they took out some information and then they added some. Okay. Says while the above list represents confirmed events associated with specific toxic exposure can be consistent with places, type, and circumstances of service in other locations. Okay. So basically, not just the Persian Gulf era. Okay. Or I'm sorry, not the Persian Gulf era, the Persian Gulf area, okay, or location, okay. Then they remove some stuff there. Military occupational hazards exposure. All right, there we go. A military occupational specialty, MOS, simply identifies a job category. It does not automatically prove that a veteran was exposed to specific toxins. Again, this is how you use the M21-1 to your reference. You come here and you find those locations. And if DOD has identified them, there you go, people. Okay. Then it says action to take when the veteran claims EMOHs exposure, but does not claim a disability. We already talked about that. Okay. And this one, they just totally took it all out. Now, here's some other additional nuggets. Sulfur fire exposure, okay, in Iraq. If you are at this location, near this location, and you have some diagnoses, ask your medical provider, say, hey, is it possible that being exposed to or being close to a sulfur mine? Okay. And here they're even giving you like this particular airfield, West Camp Q West. Okay. If you were there, which is 25 kilometers to the south. People, you may not think this is important, but when they're doing that development, they're looking at this stuff. Okay. Then it talks about the National Guard. If you were in the National Guard unit, West Virginia, South Carolina, Oregon, water treatment plant, okay, in Iraq. But here is something that's always been here. They haven't updated this, okay? So again, this location in Japan between 1985 and 2001, Okay. And then they're giving you the chemicals, okay, that if you were located there, that you were exposed to. All right. So chloroform, ask your medical professional, hey, doc, I got a diagnosis of this particular respiratory condition. I was stationed at this naval location in Japan. So I was exposed to this stuff. So when you look at presumptive people, they're going to give you the date, they're going to give you the location, and then they're going to give you um, the different diagnoses. In this instance, right here for Terra, they're giving you the toxins. So these are the answers to the test. All right. Exposure to EMOHs and Terra. Exposure to EMOHs is a type of Terra. When exposure to EMOHs is raised in a claim, exposure must be researched and verified in accordance with the for standards for the Pacific exposure types outlined in this M21-1. There it is, people. Okay, there it is. They added this. Okay, now you're not going to have this link is not going to work. PACT Act implementation SOP. You click it because that takes the VA employees to the intranet, not the internet. Okay, so they're giving us the answers to the test. So this is the addition. All right. So I know that may seem like a lot, but this is where you, the veteran, is going to have to spend the time to go and look at this information. Does it pertain to me? If it does, make sure you watch this video again and you understand it. But the VA is giving us the answers to the test. We have to invest the time to go out there and find them. Like I stated earlier, the veterans that are in my monthly veteran membership, they know how to go and look this stuff up because I showed them how to do it. In one of the trainings, one of our monthly trainings that we had, I share my screen, go out to the M21-1, and I'm like, hey, let's look this up. Let's look that up. We look it up, we read it, and I explain it to them. Okay. Raiders are looking at this stuff, or they should. So, with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share this video with your fellow veteran. Thank you.